Vagisha Mishra and I review and decode beauty pageants at my channel. So if you're visiting my channel for the very first time, please ensure to subscribe and turn on that bell notification so you'll be the first to get notified whenever a video goes live at my channel. So last night I watched the grand finale of Miss South Africa 2020, and as I had said in my final prediction that South Africa had a great badge and each of them was so worthy enough to represent South Africa internationally that anyone who wins the pageant would be a threat at any of the 3 international pageants. So yesterday Shudufhadzo Musida won Miss South Africa 2020, so they have still not announced who is going to represent where, and they have crowned the top 3 finalists of Miss South Africa. But of course, because Miss South Africa 2020 is Shudufhadzo Musida, I believe since she's the main winner, no country would send the runner-up to the Miss Universe pageant unless and until you are sending the main winner to the Miss World pageant. So Shudufhadzo is certainly somebody who's going to represent South Africa at Miss Universe pageant. That's what I feel right now. And regarding Tato Mosel, she was a great speaker and she performed exceptionally well. She delivered when it matters the most. So she's a doctor by a profession, so I believe that she might go to Miss World pageant since Miss World pageant always prefers medical background students. And since Karishma Ramdev was not there, I feel that Tato Mosel would be the right choice for Miss World. And now talking about Natasha Zobert, now she was my favorite candidate out of the whole batch, and I really wanted to see her at the Miss Universe pageant. That was quite a shocker for me that she couldn't win the top 2 positions, because I actually expected her to represent South Africa at Miss Universe pageant, and if it not Miss Universe pageant, then I think Miss World pageant, because I wanted to see her at a major pageant. But nonetheless, since she is second runner-up, I don't feel that they're going to send the second runner-up to the Miss World pageant, because I don't believe that a pageant like Miss World would appreciate the fact that they are sending the second runner-up to the Miss World pageant and sending the first runner-up to the Miss Supranational pageant. So that is quite obvious and predictable that Natasha Zobert might be representing South Africa at Miss Supranational. That's one thing which I'm quite certain about. And looking at her facial features, I feel that she stands a great chance to win Miss Supranational. Now she is somebody who is very beautiful, like very beautiful. So I feel that she is someone who could not be ignored at the Miss Supranational pageant. They look at somebody who is quite modest, who is great at stage, who's photogenic and has a great personality overall. So when she talks, when she speaks, she has that magnetism in her charm, in her grace. I feel that she will do quite well at the Miss Supranational pageant. But looking at her swimsuit prelims, I feel that she still needs to work upon her runway skills, because the energy which she tries to bring in on the stage, that doesn't seem quite natural. So that could be worked upon, and they have a lot of time right now. They have 1 whole year to prepare the candidates. So certainly Natasha is somebody who will be one of the very strong candidates for Miss Supranational pageants, just like Indonesia's Johannes Almira. Talking about Shudufhadzo Musida, I feel that she can certainly place in the semi-finals of the Miss Universe pageant, but will she give a back-to-back victory to Miss South Africa? I don't feel so, because both of the women, both Zuzi Tunzi and Shudufhadzo Musida, are somewhere similar, and I believe that Miss Universe would like to crown a candidate who has a variety. So I don't see a back-to-back happening at the Miss Universe stage. Nonetheless, Shudufhadzo is a great candidate, and I feel that she will do quite well and may even place in the top 10 finals. So as of now, she is in my top 10. I don't see her in the top 5 right now, but who knows what kind of candidates will be crowned in the future and what kind of performance she will bring into picture when she will compete internationally. So let's wait for more time to know how she's going to perform. And these opinions are arbitrary, they are going to change in future. So let's wait for other countries and also for Shudufhadzo to transform well. So these were my opinion about Miss South Africa. Now let's dive in straight to the grand finale and talk about each and every minute detail of the Miss South Africa finale. So let's begin. The show began with the opening statement of the top 10 finalists, and I really enjoyed watching this because I was expecting the normal introduction of the candidates first. So the candidates came on the stage and only one candidate was called upon the stage at one time. So that was quite interesting to see and I really enjoyed it. The first one to appear on the stage was Efilele Mabio. I enjoyed watching her because she sounded quite confident, and at the very same time she sounded very graceful also. So she spoke very well and she spoke from heart, that's what I felt. Up next, we had Vagisha Mamolta. I really liked her speech. She said that she is here to defy all the standard definition of beauty, and she is very, very confident. I enjoyed listening to her thoroughly. Up next, we had Chantal. She said that she wanted to be confidently unconventional, and I liked her speech, but it sounded quite pageant patty and rehearsed to me. Hey, Roland Strauss, is that you? As much as Jordan looked pretty on the stage during the opening statement, I don't like her speech. It seemed inadequate and couldn't create much powerful impact on me. And now let's talk about Karishma Ramdev. I am seriously still surprised at how could she not make it to the top 5. She was so beautiful, talked so well and looked great on the stage, still she couldn't make it further. So I was very surprised with her exclusion. And thereafter we had Lebogang Msimang. I really enjoyed listening to her because she spoke quite less, but she was very concise and precise with her opening statement. She made her mark. Subsequently, we had Melissa Naimuli, and I really was impressed with her opening statement. She was so confident and she reflected in her words that she is proudly South African. I was very convinced with whatever she said. Now, Natasha spoke well here, but I was not very much impressed with her opening statement because somewhere I felt that it was pageant patty and she was not genuinely meaning what she was saying. Next, we had Shudufhadzo Musida, who went on to win Miss South Africa 2020. She talked about the legacy which her grandparents have left for her, and she sounded quite confident while saying her opening statement. Next, we had Tato Mosel, and I really find her opening statement worthy of getting attention because I like the way she smiled during the opening statement and she carried her composure quite well. I like the dresses the candidates were wearing during the opening statement. It reflected the true essence of South Africa, although I don't know what it actually stands for, but that's what somewhere I remember how Zozibini Tunzi also wear the similar kind of gown in her prelims during the Miss Universe pageant, so I enjoyed it. Now, one thing which I did not like in the pageant was that they were showing all the older tapes on the telecast and they were not actually giving much time to the candidates. And since it was the grand finale, I believe that the candidates deserve to have their moment on the stage. So I was not very much enthusiastic about watching the whole show because it had all the previously recorded tapes, so I wasn't enjoying it. Another unusual thing about the finale was that the contestants did not really walk on the stage in their swimsuit, but rather they were shown in the telecasted tapes before the swimsuit competition actually began. So it was not a competition per se, but Jordan van der Veer stood out as the best in swimsuit and she took over the center stage and she was awarded with the title of the best in swimsuit round. So up next, after 20 minutes of pre-recorded tapes telecast, we finally had the evening gown competition, and I personally believe that this long break should not exist whenever you're having a live pageant because this actually kills the interest in the pageant audience who are watching the show. So Lebogang Msimang looked quite graceful in the evening gown competition. She was wearing a pink colored gown and she walked very beautifully, although the space was quite small, but she made sure that she looked quite graceful even in that short stage. And then it was turn for Tato Mosel. Thato again gave a very nice performance. I enjoyed her graceful and calm personality throughout the evening gown competition, the way she smiled at the camera and the way she took over the stage in slow and steady motion. That was very nice. Up next we had Shudufhadzo Musida. Shudufhadzo as well gave a very nice performance. I liked her gaze, her attitude and her aura was a very good amalgamation of fierce and grace and soft personality. So she gave a very good performance. Talking about Vagisha Mamolta, I don't know how she could not place in the top 5, maybe because the batch was quite competitive, but I have always loved her. Enjoying her moment on the stage, the way she smiles, there's kind of genuine quality in her, so that really attracts me. Next we had Epilele Mabio. So Afilile was wearing a green colored gown. I wasn't a fan of this gown. Personally, the design was a little bit messy for me. So I did not like the gown, but I certainly liked her performance, the way she was smiling. It was nice. Moreover, because of the space which was quite short, we were not able to distinguish how each candidate is standing out. And then we had Natasha. Now, Natasha was completely looking like a Hollywood star. She nailed it. Her overall styling, her performance was as usual very good. And I feel that if she's sent to the Miss Supranational pageant, she will deliver because she has that modeless aura and that beautiful, charming face, which will be appreciated there for sure. Up next, we had Jordan Vanderveer, and she looked quite graceful and charming in the blue gown. I loved the color of the gown, and the way she carried it was even more tempting. However, she could have made more facial expressions when she reached the head rim, so that would have been a more great thing. I did not like how she touched her hair when posing for the camera during the evening gown competition. Maybe that marred her chances. And then we had Chantal. Chantal, as usual, gave a very nice performance in the evening gown competition. I liked the gown. That was giving quite a party kind of vibe. So I enjoyed watching her take a moment on the stage. Up next, we had Karishma Ramdev. Karishma looked absolutely stunning in the pink color. I like her smile. I like her way she carries her entire personality. She looks very positive. She looks very charming. And it looks like she's having fun at the moment. But I was very surprised how she could not make it to the top 5 because her performance was certainly 10 on 10. So if I were to pick any one standout in the evening gown competition, that wouldn't be possible at all because every contender was beautiful in their own way. And I really salute the jury panel for choosing the top 5 finalists out of these 10 stunning candidates. And now it was time for the top 5 announcement. But I shall admit that this time my predictions did a very poor job because I got only 2 candidates correct in the top 5 finals of Miss South Africa 2020. The first candidate to enter in the top 5 was Tato Mosel. So she wasn't in my top 5. And then next we had Melissa Naimuli. She was there in my top 5 and I expected her to win one of the titles in the top 3, but sadly she couldn't. Next they had Lebogang Msimang. So she as well was not in my top 5 favorites, although when I was making my first predictions for Miss South Africa, I had her in my top 5, but I didn't have in her my final picks. And then finally they called out Natasha as one of the top 5 finalists of Miss South Africa 2020, and I was very happy to see her in the top 5 because she was one of my favorite for the crowns. And she did finish as the second runner-up in the competition. At this point of time, I was actually expecting Karishma to make it because everybody out there was quite sure that she has a very strong candidature to foray ahead in the competition, but surprisingly she did not make it to the top 5, but rather it was Shudufhadzo Musida who made it to the top 5 finals of Miss South Africa 2020. So Shudufhadzo was also there in my first predictions which I made few months back about Miss South Africa, but in my final predictions she was not there in my top 5 and I deeply regret that. The first one to answer the final 5 question was Tato Mosel, and I thoroughly loved the answer of Tato Mosel in the final question. She was asked about the pandemic situation and how are the other people dealing with it. So she beautifully explained it that some people were trying recipes in the lockdown while some were struggling to even gain some financial stability or earn a piece of bread. So that was something which was very real, and the way she answered it, that holded a lot of composure and the audience was able to relate to it in a very beautiful way. So yes, I see her doing extremely well in the international pageant when it comes to the communication skills. She has that. The second one to answer the question was Melissa Naimuli, and her way of answering kind of reminded me of Lara Datta's tone at the Miss Universe pageant. She was asked, what advice would you like to give to the people who had to shut down their businesses because of the pandemic? So she said that people actually treat business as their babies, so people need to take more time to mourn over their losses and we should respect that. So personally, this particular answer was not on point, it was not very concise, and it actually did not answer the question which was intended to her. So maybe that's why she could not finish in the top 3. And then it was time for Lebogang. So she was asked about the digital divide happening between people due to the given pandemic, because not everybody is blessed with the perfect digital technologies. So this question was quite difficult as compared to the other questions, because usually when you talk about the technical aspects, nothing comes to your mind immediately. So maybe that's why Lebogang could not answer in the precise way. So she started talking about the privacy matter of different apps and the security anxiety which happens with people. So that answer was somewhere deviating from the main question and she could not answer it. And very soon it was time for her to wrap up her answer and she had to end quite abruptly. So she couldn't deliver in a very proper way. But hands down, I have to appreciate the judges here, because they completely accepted her answer and even applauded after she finished answering it. So that was very sweet and kind on her part. And then we had Natasha Zobert answering the final question and answer for the final top 5. So Natasha was asked that how does she check her mental health and inner peace, how did she struggle while going in the lockdown, and whom did she talk to in the lockdown, and how she treated her mental health in a peaceful way. So she answered that it's quite important to keep a check on your mental health, and she says that we need to just be empathetic to our friends and everyone. So her answer was okay, mediocre, not very bad, not very good, but I believe that she was quite slow at pace when she was answering the question, and she could have answered it with more energy. I felt that she was very, very slow and steady while answering the question, and she could not make an impact by the end of the question and answer round. So certainly we expect the lady to make an impact by the end of the answer. So maybe that's why she could not win the main title. And then finally, Shudufhadzo Musida was the last one to answer the final question and answer. And interestingly, she was asked the question by her predecessor, Zozibini Tunzi, who is also the reigning Miss Universe. So she was asked that with the Black Lives Matter going on, trending in the internet these days, and also the gender movement is going on, quite trending in the social media these days. So what is that one particular moment which she would like to mobilize, and what it would be? So she said that she would like to present the cause of suicide, because that's the rampant cause of death between people aged from 15 to 29. So she answered it in a very strong and beautiful way. She sounded quite determined while answering the question, and I think that she answered the best among all the top 5 finalists who were present there in the finale. So that's why she won the main crown, and her answer actually kind of related with the audience. So again and again I have talked about the relatability factor whenever it comes to the final question and answer. So that was something which actually helped Shudufhadzo to win the crown. And thereafter they had a top 3 announcement. The first one to make it to the top 3 was Shudufhadzo Musida. Second one to make it was Natasha Zobert, and the third one to make it was Tato Mosel. Now it was time for the candidates to give their final word before the crowning ceremony. So Shudufhadzo spoke in a very nice way. I feel that she was the strongest among the top 3 contenders when it came to the final word. She answered with all grace, and her words had determination and enthusiasm. She had that confidence and charm which is needed for any major pageant. Now talking about Natasha spoke well. She talked about her personal experience, which was very nice, but somewhere I felt that she was very soft while answering the final word, and she was very, very soft. So that is something which is unable to make mark or impact at an international stage. So she needs to bring in more energy when she is talking. So that was my only concern. Now coming to Thato was quite mediocre, but even her, she answered very nicely, and she answered with some weightage in her voice. So that is very important, especially when you're representing your country at Miss World or Miss Universe. You need to be very energetic and enthusiastic while saying anything, that whatever you're saying, you're asserting it, you mean it, you own it. So that was missing with Natasha, and that's why I believe that she could not win the main crown despite of giving great performances. And also while watching her face, I felt that she was not smiling from within. as if she already knew that she's not going to win. So that was quite much apparent on her face, and maybe that's why judges could not appreciate her to be the number one choice for the crown. So that's what I feel. The good thing is that the national pageant now has the franchise of three different international pageants, so I'm very convinced that all three of them will be representing South Africa internationally. I was very happy with their overall selection of the candidates which they made in the competition. That was really nice. And talking about Tato Mosel, I think she will be a great choice for Miss World, whereas Shudufhadzo Musida, the kind of determination she has when she talks, I feel that she will be a better choice for Miss Universe pageant. Now let's wait to whom organization will appoint to different respective international pageants. Also, one thing which I did not like for the crowning ceremony was the hugging and the kissing which was happening afterwards. The finale ended, so the contestants did not hold hands with each other initially, but after, as soon as the competition ended, they were just hugging each other. So that was something which I did not find quite great. So that was it for today's video. Do let me know in the comment section if you like the video. Give it a huge fat thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification. Also, if you want to see anything specific on my channel, do let me know in the comment section. I always ensure to go through my comments. Do let me know in the comment section what you think of South Africa at Miss Universe 2020, Miss World 2020 and Miss Supranational 2020, and whom do you want to see as South Africa at these respective international pageants. So thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time in the next video.